You are the only black woman right now serving in the U.S. Senate. You have known the vice president for a long time. What do you make of all this?
I think it's typical distracting, dodging Donald Trump. It is interesting that this argument is coming at a time when Project 2025 was being connected to him and to his campaign. That his campaign leadership was making sure that Project 2025 was being distanced from their operation. And so, look, this is an absolute distraction. It is an insult. It is despicable. This is a woman who is born in Oakland, California, who has declared and lived proudly all of her identities her entire life, embracing the totality of who she is. And Donald Trump wants to divide our country. The vice president wants to unite us and to bring everyone forward, no matter their identity. And this is the only card he's got to play, and so he's playing it. He's desperate.
So it sounds like the way that the vice president and her campaign are approaching this, which is kind of a less is more approach, saying that it is divisive and disrespectful, kind of what you just said, and that Americans deserve better, is enough? Or do you think she should be, and her campaign should be more aggressive in calling it out?
When he has the courage to meet her on the debate stage, I'm sure she will take care of and clear up any confusion that he has about who she is. But the vice president is very clear that the American people want to have a leader who actually cares about them, who wakes up every day putting on the armor that is required to do the work to improve their lives. And so this distraction is just that, a distraction, and I don't think it requires much more response than him saying it to her face.
You think they'll end up debating?
The vice president says she'll be there on September 10th. I hope Donald Trump shows up.
Since we're on the topic about race, and I will just add gender to that, she's of course the first woman of color, not the first woman, but the first woman of color to lead a major party's presidential ticket. The first woman to do so, Hillary Clinton, said in an op-ed that she sometimes shied away from talking about her own history-making candidacy because, quote, "I wasn't sure voters were ready for that." Do you think things have changed in 8 years?
I believe so. I believe that the probability of the American people being able to cast their ballot for a person for whom they have seen perform at the highest levels for the last 3.5 years, a person who has led the largest Department of Justice, second only to the U.S. Department of Justice, a person who has been a public servant fighting for women and families their entire life. I believe the American people are ready to have a leader that puts them first. And in this debate, and in this contest, the contrast couldn't be clearer.
What you just described could be her qualifications, not her gender or her race.
Yeah.
That's where she should stay.
I think she's going to own all of who she is. That is who she is. She is never shied away from, look, when you see her, you see a woman of color. There's nothing that she can do to distract or hide from that. She's going to own all of who she is, and she's going to tell America what she brings to the table.
Let's talk about some of the issues that
Sure.
voters are going to go to the polls about. The economy. The U.S. added 114,000 new jobs last month, which was disappointing. Unemployment jumped to 4.3%. Rising fears now that they're raising fears that there could be a recession. But even before that, even when the job numbers were really good, month after month, polls consistently have shown that voters are most concerned about the economy and they don't approve of the Biden-Harris administration and their handling of it. What should she do differently?
Look, I think what she's going to be doing is telling the American people what they have been doing. And I think she's going to project a continued vision of the future for how our economy can work for everyone. There is no doubt that there is fear and anxiety for working families all across this country. And the history and the record of the vice president is that she has stood arm in arm, shoulder to shoulder with those working families her entire career. I think she's going to own that and expect her to have an economic plan that continues to include all of the American people.
A new economic plan, or will continue with the Biden administration plans?
I think it's about implementing, continuing to implement the Biden-Harris administration plan. This is a plan that has added 18 million new jobs. It has, the fastest growing manufacturing jobs in the history of our country. I think she's got to make sure that there's continued implementation of their plan, and she's going to definitely bring a vision that is about what she wants to do.
In the 2020 primary, the vice president praised the defund the police movement, and now she says she doesn't support defunding the police. She called for decriminalizing crossing the border illegally. Now she supports President Biden's policies for clamping down at the border. She supported Medicare for all at one point, eliminating private insurance, and her campaign says she doesn't support that now. She's reversed herself on a fracking ban. What do you think that voters should think when she's reversed herself on several issues just in the last 4 years?
I think that voters should think that she's a human being who learns new things every single day and has the ability to take the time and effort to hear the concerns of all people. I think that they should be certain that she is a fighter and a leader who's going to do the work on their behalf to ensure that there is an economy that ensures that no one is left behind, that there is a climate, that we're going to continue to address the climate crisis in a way that ensures that there is an earth here for young people and for next generations of leaders. I think that they should absolutely believe that she is a leader who cares about people and who's going to put them first, as she has done her entire career.
So no concern about flip-flopping?
No concern about flip-flopping. This is our country changes every single day. The conditions of our country changes every single day. The vice president has been consistent in her values, and there are lots of different ways to solve the challenges that are in front of us. We've got to make sure that we have a candidate who is listening, and a leader who, frankly, again, puts the people first.
Before I let you go, I want to play video that has resurfaced. It's all over the internet. You already know what I'm going to play. 2019, it was you, then an advisor to then Senator Harris, fending off a right-wing activist who came up to you at an airport. I don't know where the thing is. What's most remarkable about that scene that we just played is now, of course, Kamala Harris is the vice president and nominee for president. You are a United States senator, and the woman who came up to you and to Harris is Anna Paulina Luna, who's a congresswoman right now.
Yeah. Look, I think it shows, again, the continued leadership of women in this country who have a strong set of values and who want to offer themselves in public service to their communities. And it's great that we all have moved from the airport to some of the look. Voters in Florida elected her, so they must think that she shares their values and has something to offer to the American discourse. That was an occasion where the then United States Senator Kamala Harris was actually trying to have a conversation with other people in the airport, and Representative Luna aggressively wanted to make her point. Here we are.